Live on a Sunday night. A lot to talk about. Dejounte Murray is the newest New Orleans Pelican. JV Lito's gone. Rest in peace, JV. We got a lot to talk about on Brandon Ingram and possibly him being a Sacramento King. Let's do it.
First took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth now.
Brought to you by the Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers. Have you been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore? Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give them a call at 504-285-7675 for a free consultation. Yes, a free consultation. They always fight for the win. Lito in studio alongside with Ross and Chaz as always. Appreciate everyone in the room. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, let you know we're going live. I was going to start off with Dejounte Murray because it's obviously the biggest news of the weekend. But JV, I think, was probably one of my favorite Pelican of all time. And Lito, I'm going to let you have the floor here with Jonas Valanciunas.
Man, rest in peace, comrade. I'm going to miss you, dog. Like, just the picture of consistency. I think Christian Clark just tweeted this. 235 games played out of 246. 235 games out of 246. You really don't, as far as this franchise goes, you really haven't had that type of consistency. And man, shout out to him for getting paid, man. Like I just, the whole disrespect. My dog couldn't be involved in the game plan. He was too slow. He was this. He was that. Led the NBA in defensive rebounding percentage the last 2 years.
Isn't he all-time leaders in playing games?
Please don't disrespect the legend. He is the all-time leading scorer in playing tournament history.
He's a legend. He's a GOAT.
Yeah. Rebounding and scoring. Yeah. Like he the best. He the great. Nobody else. Brian can't say that. MJ can't say that. Kobe can't say that. Jonas is the only person who can say that. So please don't disrespect my dog.
Shout out JV. All right, 5. Biggest news of the weekend. Pelicans Land Dejounte Murray. We still don't know the trade yet. It's not finalized. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. There's still moves to be made when it comes to Dejounte Murray, and we're definitely going to have Chaz talk about maybe how this trade can expand. But Jarrett, overall, we'll go Jarrett, Ross, and Chaz. Give me your grade, overall instant reaction on the Dejounte Murray trade.
I think it's an A, maybe an A minus. One, it's I think a suitable guard. You probably wanted Trae Young. That probably would have got an A plus. But for this guy, I think it's a winner. Him and the fact that you didn't have to give up Herb Jones is like a big plus for me. Because they were in talks early, right before the trade deadline to get Dejounte, and they wanted Herb, and Griff stood tall on this, and he was like, no, I'm not giving up Herb. And some of us was like, nah, you kind of need to do that deal. But the fact that it kind of worked out still remains in a Herb Dejounte backcourt. Like, oh my God, this is an elite defender that is gonna play and offensively can get a bucket as well. So it's an A minus for me.
Ross, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm probably right there with 5, A minus. And only because with perfect world would we like to have Trae Young, of course. But I think in terms of just looking at this deal, you got an fringe all-star level guard, and you really didn't give up anything, in my opinion. You didn't have to give up Brandon to get him, so you still hold, you still have the opportunity to make other really important moves, and you now have other assets that you can move because you didn't have to empty the coffers to bring in another guard. So no, I think it was a great deal. Like I said, keeping Herb, keeping Brandon out of that deal, finally getting rid of this damn Laker pick. I feel like that's a silver lining there. Finally getting out from under that. But otherwise, no, very good deal.
Chaz, go ahead. Chaz, I want to get your grade and then how this deal can expand because Bobby Marks came out of the video today. You've been talking about it too. The money is not necessarily matching, I believe, and then I want to hear your thoughts on where this trade can actually expand to.
I think I give it an A. It's around the line of A and B plus because if I just accept the sunk cost of all of it, then cool. But the fact that it's like, fuck, you did in reality, damn, you give up the 8th pick that you had. So you're admitting defeat with that. And I'm glad they ultimately moved off of the Larry Nance contract. But it just seems like damn, you did everything just a step too late. But where they made up for a lot of this was you gave yourself incredible leverage in the Brandon negotiations with Brandon himself and with other teams, because now the threat of you to walk away from a
Sorry.
that's cool. The threat of you to walk away from a flawed trade is higher, because you say, I don't necessarily need to do that. Or overpay for Brandon. You can also say, I don't necessarily need to overpay you now, because it's always a good trade, I guess, when you walk away with the best player in the deal. So I would give it a B+, A-.
Do you believe? Well, Lito, let's hear your thoughts on the trade, because I want to hear about how this can expand. Because I've been following a lot of what people are saying, especially what Chad's been saying. Like, this deal is not done. So give me your overall grade, and then we're going to talk about how this can expand.
I think for me right now, it would be an A. It's an A for me because of what you traded for like the return on your investment. That you know what I'm saying? Like you got. Initially when the deal happened, I thought Brandon was involved in the trade because there were no details. It was just Dejounte Murray traded to the Pelicans. I'm thinking you included Brandon in the deal, and seeing what they traded for him, I'm gonna give it an A. Now here's the thing. I'm with Chaz. The expandable part of the deal for me is where you can, for me, probably get an A+. I thought Jonas should have been involved in the signing trade, and the same with Naji. I thought that you had the leeway to be able to work those things in. If that doesn't happen, I'm gonna still give it an A. But I think that the little details surrounding it, right, like expanding it, making the trade bigger, or involving more teams in order to get a bigger return would then be an A+ for me.
Yeah, and look, I see a lot of comments, guys. So I see a bunch of comments. We're gonna star them and get the end of the show. I see a lot of Lauri Markanen comments, and we'll get to those questions. But Jarrett reported about a couple hours ago that the Kings are interested in Brandon Ingram, and this is where the trade can expand with the Dejounte Murray. I think even Chaz did a mock trade where we get Harrison Barnes, and I think Chaz, it was Wendall Carter Jr. Is that correct, from Orlando?
Yes.
So they're a 4-5 team deal. Jarrett, I've been up and down the timeline. A lot of people don't like Harrison Barnes. Our group chat kind of disagrees with that, and I want to hear your first, your opinion on that.
Nah. Bring Harrison Barnes down. I'm cool with that. Like, it's a veteran. Has been to the NBA Finals. Has been on a couple different, really good basketball teams. Pelicans need that. Like, I've always been the one to say, like, you need a lot of smart basketball players. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction. Maybe that guy just needs an opportunity to see, like, where a team actually needs him. Needs him with his skill set, not with the skill set they wish he had. And I think his ability to shoot the ball, I think you posted that he 38% from three. Like, yeah, I would love guys that can consistently hit corner threes and also play defense and not turn the ball over. Like, you need guys like that just to surround Zion. I think what we're talking, super high IQ. What we're talking about is this benefits Zion. It doesn't necessarily would benefit the Washington Wizards or the New York Knicks or like other teams. This team in particular, it would. And I think that's what you need to be looking for.
Yeah. It's a really good point, Jarrett, because Ross, you look at Harrison Barnes' stats. He's shot since 2018, 38%, 40%, 38%, 39%, 39%, 38%, 39%. Also, the last 2 years, he hasn't missed a game. 164 games, has shot 38.5% from deep, average double digits. Look, yes, Brandon Ingram's a way better player than Harrison Barnes, but as Jarrett says, addition by subtraction. Do you agree with that assessment?
I mean, to a certain degree, right? If you're doing something like that, you're not just getting Harrison Barnes.
Right.
Just to be clear, like, you're not just getting Harrison Barnes back. Right. So there would be a lot of other stuff involved in that. You definitely need some first rounders, or at least, some picks and maybe other stuff too. So just want to get that out of the way. But in terms of bringing in a player like Harrison, I think the average fan maybe doesn't realize how quality he is. Like, just a guy that you can chalk up for 15 points. He doesn't overshoot. He knows his game. He knows himself. He's a like a mature adult that, in the locker room. He's a really good shooter. I mean, he's not – Harrison Barnes hasn't been a guy like up and down his career where he has a good year and then a crap year and then a decent year. And like he's a really consistent player. He's defensively incredibly versatile, can probably guard 1 to 4 comfortably. Yeah, I like him. I like him as a kind of – especially here where he would be wing depth. Like you're not – if you're including Harrison Barnes in a deal like this, you're not trading for him as the guy that – came out of college and was supposed to be a superstar or something you build a team around. You're trading for Harrison Barnes, the 31-year-old version of him. So I'd be perfectly fine with him. I think he's a capable player. I think he provides additional shooting and you can just never have enough.
Yeah. And also like he gives the runway for Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
I think he'd be great as depth on the bench behind Trey Murphy. But Chaz, why do the Kings make so much sense for a trade partner for Brandon Ingram and the Pelicans?
Just their quest for relevance. I mean, you got a situation with De'Aaron Fox. He's probably not looking to take a step back in the winning quest. Haven't had much success with that organization. They got a taste of success last season. Then you follow it up this season with a play-in appearance. They probably just want to keep that trajectory headed in the right direction. And you kind of want to convince a guy like De'Aaron Fox, yo, you need to stick around here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because a guard like De'Aaron Fox is on the free agent market is going to get all the money that he wants. So it's time to really start convincing a guy like that that we're building something secure and serious around you.
Yeah. Also, like Kevin Huerter, like I've seen Kevin Huerter in that trade. Like he's not a bad player either. Like
I know.
What am I missing with that? Like, look, I think people think we're, if we trade Brandon Ingram, we need to get a player of his caliber back. And that's just not reality. It's just not. I don't know what to say. Right now, currently, you have Dejounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and Trey Murphy. Jordan Hawkins, you got Missy. Who am I missing? You're both
Reeves.
JRE.
Jose. So that's 11.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
You need some players, huh?
Yeah. You're gonna need some players. You're gonna need to trade. So, Lito, like back to it. So Pelicans now reported they're interested in Wendall Carter Jr.
Yeah.
Chaz said in the group chat, like now that KCP goes to Orlando, I'm interested in your thoughts on this, Chaz. That deal's dead. We don't, obviously we don't know.
Well, I don't know if it's dead.
No, you said it's
a lot less likely.
A lot less likely. Thank you, Chaz.
Yeah.
What do you like about Wendall Carter Jr. Leo? He's another good player. I worry about his injury history. Do you want to go first?
No. I just want to ask Lito, what college did he go to? All right.
What's your question?
You don't want to answer?
I will talk about I'm gonna get to Wendell. I'm gonna get to Wendell.
Do you like Wendell?
Wendell's cool. Can I talk about Harrison Barnes first?
Yes, you haven't talked about Harrison Barnes. Let's skip over you on Harrison.
You
that's my bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I
want to talk about North Carolina Tar Heel Harrison Barnes.
Good.
Listen,
well played.
You talk about maturity. The man's nickname coming out of high school was the Senator. The Senator. You don't get that label just by being a reckless guy. Harrison Barnes is another. You talk about Jonas being a pitcher of consistency. Harrison Barnes is consistent in his gameplay. Harrison Barnes he only shooting 8 shots a game. That's it, right? The problem with this deal is when you hear Brandon Ingram, you think you trading Brandon Ingram from Harrison Barnes straight up. That's not what's happening.
People are asking about hips and hand placement, and it's just
hey, you got to watch the film, Wahab. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, Harrison won the NCAA championship.
I don't know.
Oh, all right. So you know what I'm saying? Like, ask Coach K about the hand placement. But look, check this out. That's
wild. Go ahead.
Beefy?
Beefy stew?
Yeah, Donald actually.
I know. You adding stuff to it, dog. Hey, look, Harrison Barnes. You're not trading Harrison for Brandon straight up. And I've been saying for months. I mean, not just me, Chaz, 5, just everybody. You're not getting an all-star player in return for Brandon. That is not what the market. I haven't seen an all-star traded for an all-star in a minute. And to be honest, Brandon is not an all-star. So technically, technically the return on your investment in this trade when you're getting 2 shooters in Herter and Barnes. And listen, this is not. It's gonna be another team added into like to the deal. You're getting picks. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trading towards you're gonna quote unquote restock the war chest in this deal, right? Wendell Carter Jr. My only it's two negatives
That
for
was
me.
such a quick transition. I gotta.
My bad. You gotta be. I'm a professional, dog.
See
Like I don't
that.
have time to play around when you're asking me questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, Wendell Carter Jr. There's 2 issues for me that I have concerns about: his injury history, and he can't fucking rebound. He does not. He is 6'9", 6'10",
6'10",
6'10", and he's like a 5 rebound guy a game.
like Missy.
Like
My biggest issue is however long. I don't think he's played 60. I think he's played 60 games once in his career.
6'10", 270. He has played. Let's see here.
He's just not available very often.
The most games he's ever played is 61 in 2021. In the last 2 years, he's played 102 games out of 160.
what's the rebounding?
He
The
averages-
rebounding.
he
He
averages
averaged,
8.5 rebounds for his career.
Okay.
he averaged 7 last year.
Okay.
Is that okay as a center though?
No. But I mean, listen, the intangibles.
I'm gonna shoot him some bail. Like he's on a team where there's a whole bunch of 6'9", 6'10" guys. You got Paolo, you got Mo, you got the other brother. Like
Can I also like chime in here real
Yeah.
quick, Fab? Because I don't want my center to be rebounding the ball. You know why? Because I want number 1 rebounding the basketball, as you say. Like that dude, Zion's rebounding
I
needs to
got
go up.
just
Why?
he has to rebound. I mean, even
Oh, of course. Look,
you said
of course they got to rebound. I want Zion to be averaging more rebounds than my center.
Nah,
not gonna happen.
still. I still need him to rebound. Even on a team where JV averaged, a double. He was probably right at 10, 11. Like they all need to rebound. This wasn't just we don't have a really good rebounding team to say
We don't.
you don't want your center rebound. Like, nah, he has to, because the wings don't rebound enough. So somebody has to. And if you're going to get paid, or if you're going to get traded for, like that has to be a quality that you already possess.
So then y'all are out on Wendell?
I'm not out.
No. I'm not saying that. I was gonna say his intangibles. He can shoot the basketball.
He can.
That's something that you've been talking about. You want more spacing for Zion, and now you want more spacing with Dejounte in the lineup also, right? You need a guy who can stretch the floor, get the defensive bigs out of the paint.
Yeah.
He can help with that.
He could.
Does he? Is he going to help? I'm with you.
It's almost like a
in
JV
theory-
thing, right?
Yeah, like in theory, yeah, like he can shoot a little bit, but no one's really going chase Wendell. Like if the alternative is you're giving up a Zion layup, like all right, then Wendell's cool. He can sit out there and shoot all he wants. So I mean, I'm with you, but I don't know that he's got that kind of gravity, like where people are gonna be like, oh, make sure Wendell's in the corner, and he'd be like, yeah, leave him. He's okay over there. I don't dislike Wendell Carter, but
I don't think there's many guys like Porzingis, right? I think that's the like ceiling
right.
of a guy like that. Right. But we also have to have somebody with the ability to want to shoot it with no hesitation.
What makes a good rebounder, Jared?
Shout out to Taurean Prince. 2 hands on the basketball. I think the effort is premier, like supreme. Like you got to have the effort. People talk about Russell Westbrook, right? Getting 20 rebounds in a game and shit like that at 6'3". But the effort has to be there, the want to. But also scheme. Like if it's not a priority in your coaching staff, like why would anybody do it?
But shouldn't rebounding and look, I think rebounding gets overlooked so much in this game because no matter what, even a good team shoots 40% from deep, whatever it may be. Yeah. That means they're missing basic math. They're missing 60% of the time.
Yeah.
So 6% of the time you have to rebound the basketball. So like I think the best teams are good rebounding teams. So when I see Wendell Carter and I see that rebounding total, that does worry me about him being a starting center.
To that point, like the Pelicans at their best under Willie Green, they were a really good rebounding team.
Yeah.
With Jackson Hayes at the 4. Like,
yeah,
when they were going against the Sun, like they were getting multiple chances. Like they just had more shots on goal because they were just out rebounding the opposition. I think you need to get some of that back.
I totally agree. That was a good point there. I totally forgot. That was like one of their strengths when they were making that run. Yeah. Go ahead, Lito.
Well, yeah. I mean, like if you, I feel Ross to that point. Like if you have reservations, hey man, pull out the big joker, man. Go get Lauri. Go get Cat. Like, don't play around then. Don't fuck around. Make that shit happen. Aggressive changes, right?
It's fair. That's a good point. Chaz, what do you think about Wendall Carter Jr.?
I think he's a solid, quote unquote, like starter big. I think the intention would be to get him and another center. I think you would have a center, a stretch center, and a guy who can play against more of those bruiser type bigs. I think that'll be your number two. I don't believe we'll see Eves much this year at all. I think he's taking over that Cody Zeller third big or sixth big option.
I saw someone starting him this year. It was unbelievable. But go ahead.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I don't, you know, I feel like I'm not too worried about the rebound aspect because you just added a great rebounding guard. It's really going to the onus is going to have to be on Trey Murphy if he's in the starting lineup to rebound more. Herb Jones, who's not a good rebounder, to rebound more. CJ is a pretty solid rebounder for his size and athleticism, but the onus is going to have to be on the other guys. You know, I agree with Ross, but you know, I don't necessarily believe there's a thing as gravity for when you got like Zion who scores exclusively in the paint. I think you really just need guys who are able to knock down open shots and guys who can set screens properly. You know, I'm not, you know, I don't think Wendell's like this great screen setter, but basically it's kind of like with the Aaron Nelson hire, right? With Amy Atmore, what she was able to do with both Brandon and Zion prior to both of them going down with like freak injuries, you're going to have to lean into that and gamble on her being like the secret recipe to keeping guys on the court. So when you have a Wendell Carter Jr. who's, you know, he might be viewed as a distressed asset, that's probably why he's available, or if he's available, that's probably why he may be available. You know what I mean? Because he is not reliable on the court. And that's also why you go ahead and you get you a backup center. You get guys who you get you a four who's capable of playing up at the five. You're going to see some scenarios where Zion's at the five. You're going to see some incarnations where if you get Harrison Barnes, he's at the five. You know, I think Wendell Carter Jr. is really just like a starter in name. Probably won't see him close many games unless you, you know, you need some size out there and you're struggling on the boards. But I think a lot of it is like taking the center out of the equation. A lot of it, the onus is going to have to be on the rest of those guys in the front court. I think I trust Murray with the rebounding guy. I think he's really good.
Yeah. So I got to address this comment here. No one talked about how bad is CJ. Okay. So CJ McCollum shot 43% from deep this year.
How bad? Who?
Yeah. Shot 43% from deep this year. 43% on 8.4 attempts. That's the most in the NBA. He finished 7th in the entire NBA in 3-point percentage on 8.5 attempts. And we got people saying that he's bad.
Man,
I can't, it drives me insane. Is he the perfect player? No. Does he make bad decisions? Yes. But to say he's a bad player.
Wait. You reading that wrong. Hold on.
How
Hold
bad?
On. Wait. He's saying B.I. Slender.
Oh, slender. Okay. Maybe you mean we're talking about the slander, I think is what he means, but he said slender.
Yeah, but we can only go off what he spelled.
That's
slender.
true. He did
We
say
can only
slender.
go off what he spelled.
Man,
The
which-
CJ
which I
McCollum
can't
discourse.
argue with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's actually a fact.
He got a point.
It's got to stop.
Listen,
It drives me insane, Jay.
listen. The dude better off being a chameleon, man. He's had to change his role 100 times just to see this team see some relevance of success. Oh, he's the point guard. No, you got to move off ball. Now he's hurt, so I got to go back to being on ball. No, he's hurt, so I have to go back to being like, bro. At what point? What person is successful and have to be like so able to, you know, fit different assets of your team because everybody's down? Like, he's been the most consistent one. Dude had a punctured lung.
Came back in like 2.5 weeks.
Matter of fact, he had to make the call to Larry that like, hey, we need a team meeting. He had a fucking punctured lung. I think he had to take the bus or some shit.
Yeah, he had to drive to Sacramento, was it?
Yeah,
he couldn't fly?
He couldn't fly. Like, bro, what?
Because we need him in the
talking about?
play-in tournament, I think is what.
Like, what are we talking about?
You know the issue that I'm realizing that people look at
Happy
his-
birthday, Five.
appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Five.
happy
Appreciate that. Thank y'all.
People look at where he is in the lineup, slotted as point guard, and they think point guard.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what to tell you, because if you like, nobody, Willie Green, nobody has said CJ McCollum is the point guard. Nobody has said that. Right? Like,
Remember at the beginning of the season, they said Brandon's going to have the ball.
absolutely.
Right? CJ, I'm going to play off ball. CJ said he worked on catch and shoots because he wasn't going to have the ball in his
He
hands
literally changed his whole shot
Remember-
profile.
because he had a fucked up thumb that he played through the season before.
Mm-hmm.
Got through that, had surgery, got through that, had a torn labrum, got
Mhm.
through that,
Mhm.
came back and still shot 40 plus. Like the advanced analytics are so much in CJ's favor. I don't even want to touch it.
He came in as a third option. He's been the number 1 and 2 option for majority of his time.
Like, what
here.
the fuck are we talking about? And I told myself
okay.
I didn't want to curse, but like, God damn.
No, curse.
Oh, curse. Ross?
This ain't a
No,
Willie
I
Green
was just
show.
gonna say while we're talking about CJ, it kind of I mean the obvious question is let's just make the assumption that we don't make any other trade, which I don't think any of us believe this to be true, but let's just make the assumption we don't make any other trades. What does a lineup look like for y'all this coming up year? Like,
Right now.
is CJ a starter? I've said, like, I don't really care that much about the whole starter
Never
like,
have, never will.
deal. Like, I don't think it makes that big a difference because the minute distribution is going to stay the same pretty much no matter what. But it is interesting, right?
What would your
Because
starting
you got-
five be
Yes,
right
you
now?
can.
Yeah, what you're asking me?
No, I mean, I think, is that what
yeah,
you're asking?
Yeah, that's
Pam?
what I'm asking. It just and assume you just go get some random big guy, or Wendall Carter, whoever, right? So just assume there's another center on the roster. But you enter the season with CJ, Murray, Herb, Trey, Brandon, all those Zion, all those people. Who starts?
See, the issue is those two didn't play well together. CJ plays well with both of them.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't, and then he's the most consistent one. So I wouldn't, you almost have to tell him, especially him being him, like, this is the best option for us to succeed. And he's gonna be like, no, the fuck it ain't.
Yeah,
I can prove it to you.
tough,
No,
like,
the fuck it ain't.
Lito, he goes from, I'm going to curse and drop a 2 F5s.
Because that shit pisses me off, bro. Like,
the reason it's interesting though is because you do have, like, there's a glut of similar-ish skill sets now. Like, you almost need to, it's tough coming from like where the Pelicans have been, because you hate to say you've got to thin out the like wing depth, right? Because somebody always gets hurt. And every year it's like, yeah, it'd been nice if we were plugging in another like ready-made starter. But like, you kind of got a lot of guys that have similar skill sets.
listen to me. I'm telling, I don't.
Yeah, fucking yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Before y'all, I think CJ and Dejounte are gonna have like a beautiful mesh of skill sets.
Yes.
I think
They
so
are.
too.
They will.
Yes.
I think so too.
They will.
We're not talking about it enough, but like CJ, like, I ain't got to jump the ball up the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
I guess run
and
the
now-
corners. Like,
Yeah, and now I don't have to guard the other team's. We never had to guard the other team's best guard. Now I don't have to guard the other team's second best guard. Basically, you're now allowing CJ to just, hey, whoever's standing in the corner, that's like, you just go over there in the
Yeah,
corner.
the Kevin Herters
Yeah.
of the world.
So starting 5, I can I get any set, like whatever, Wendell Carter Jr. center, but Brandon Ingram still on my team.
Which seems,
To be honest with you, I would go Dejounte, Herb, Brandon, Zion center.
Yeah.
Trey and CJ have to come off the bench. Because I think, here's my thing. If Herb's going to shoot the way he did last year in the regular season, I know the whole playoff thing, you have an elite backcourt defensively. Elite. You could probably switch 1 through 5 too. If Zion's going to play the way he played defensively in the second half of the year, I still think Brandon can play defensive. I thought he did a great job of guarding bigs down the stretch as well before he got hurt.
He did.
What are you laughing at?
I'm thinking about this shit. This shit's crazy. Imagine having Dejounte. Oh, people outside. It's New Orleans.
It's Magazine Street.
All right. Imagine having, you're going to Dejounte, CJ, Herb, Trey, and Zion is your closing lineup. But like, and if Trey can just rebound, like, if all of, bro, like, what do you do? Like, who do you help off? Like, if the offense is, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Lito. And then Lito and Chaz.
I'm gonna say insert center. I don't know who it is, so
Whatever.
center. I'm gonna say Zion, Trey, Herb, Dejounte.
Brandon's on the bench.
I don't think he's on the team.
Last week you said he is on the team.
Yeah, but the Dejounte trade changed everything.
True.
It totally flipped because you're not in a rush to move him, and you don't have to make a bad deal. Like you don't have to just go out and find a guard because you got a guard now. Now you can kind of move at your own pace.
Chaz, are you miserable sitting through this hypothetical?
I've been miserable this entire show. I ain't gonna lie. I've been miserable this entire show. I'm like, God damn, there's so many cool things to be excited about, and we defending stuff against. I'm presuming some of these got to be new people. We defending the dumbest shit, explaining the dumbest shit to got to be some of the dumbest motherfuckers. Gotta be. That's why I'm just sitting there like, no, people are really crazy. They're really crazy. Like if you notice, that's why I didn't speak on the Harrison Barnes thing. Yeah. Like, I'm not even gonna dignify this with a response to these imbeciles. These imbeciles.
This is my new favorite guy. Powwow.
Powwow.
He's my new favorite.
The dumbest shit. But but to answer the question, Brandon would have to be on the bench. I spoke with Justin about this the other day, and I was like, Dejounte Murray shot the ball very well, but I don't think teams still recognize him as an official threat just yet from beyond the arc. No one's going to defend Herb Jones from beyond the arc. So it still would you have to still have multiple shooters in the Zion lineup, in my opinion. So it would have to be Brandon off the bench, where I think he would thrive being able to, run the offense totally himself and get to his spots. Because I ain't gonna lie, I do not want to see an offense with Dejounte, Zion, and Brandon. I think that's terrible. I think it's gonna look terrible. And
because you know what? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying, like, you look at Dejounte. Dejounte is just a better version of Brandon. He's a guard version of Brandon, in my opinion. And you go watch Dejounte's film. I'm just saying, for me personally, with the type of basketball I like, and I like Dejounte, but it doesn't jump off the screen to me as like, that's how I've been wanting to play all this time. It just like, oh, that was a bad shot that went in. Like, he operates so much in the mid-range, but the great thing is, has elite speed, he can shoot from beyond the arc, great playmaking ability, great rebounder for a guard, got dog, plays with dog and intensity, and he can do things when he's not scoring, and that's the shortcomings of a Brandon Ingram at this stage. He's not really giving you a lot unless he's on ball and he's kind of the main cog in the offense. Well, I think Dejounte Murray can give you a bit more, especially on the defensive end, if he's not tasked with having to score so much. So I would bring Brandon off the bench. My starting lineup would be, I don't know how the fuck you can get a center in this scenario, but let's just say you got a guy. Dejounte, CJ, Trey, Zion, insert center.
Frank from UNO plays center.
Shout out Frank. That's like
shout out to Frank.
Fourth show in a row. This is what's coming to New Orleans Pelicans.
Murray. The floor is spread. It's Holiday. It's Murray from the top. Good! With 1/10 of a second.
Watch it.
Oh, shit.
Ugh.
Did he injure Joel?
Whoa.
Did he injure him?
Jared, talk about the footwork. Talk about the footwork.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Frank.
Shout out Frank.
It's cool to see a guy manipulate a pick and roll like that. It's few and far between that we've seen here in New Orleans. You got somebody, on your side here. You got him caged in. The bigs, come out. Pause. and you still manipulate your way to the rim. It's cool to see. I think even to Chaz's point, DeJounte, being like Brandon in a point guard form, I think he had to operate in the mid range a little bit more because Trey shot from so far. Like you almost had to because Trey's either you shooting from 35 out to either getting to the rim. Somebody has to fill the void of the mid range. I'm not shooting him any bail just in particular, but just all right, well, I could see how he would operate in that way. I think he's one of those guys that will do anything you need to get a win, right? Like if you need him to shoot threes, like he's shown the consistency to each year he's gotten better at shooting the three or willingness. That's the thing. That's the word. The willingness to change your game to benefit the team. And I think that's the issue we've probably been kind of seeing with Brandon, like his unwillingness to do things that really just help the team win.
Lito, I just realized that my name's Lito too. So
I
that's
saw
why
that.
there's two Litos, but go ahead.
Hey, I wanna
I just saw that.
I just realized that. I gotta change the middleman. Where are we at? There we go. Middle.
Change it to Frank. Change it to Frank.
Yeah, it been Frank.
Frank.
There we go.
Hey, I'm not saying that these guys are as good as the guys I'm about to mention, but in my opinion, starting DeJounte and Herb gives you a little gives you sort of a Derek White, Drew type feel in the backcourt. You know what I'm saying? Like if they gonna especially if DeJounte he go shoot. What do you mean? 200 and something threes.
Chaz got the stats.
And Herb
208, right?
I had to pull the stats up, but it was significantly.
It was
more.
200. Yeah. So if he gonna make 200 threes and Herb go shoot it at 41%, plus the defense that they play, I like the Pels trying to reimagine that type of scenario. And the other thing Five brought up, I think this is the point of contention for me, is the intangibles that DeJounte has as far as just being a dog, being not a nice person. You know what I'm saying? Being a guy who has no problem getting in your face, talking shit, just being a villain. I'm happy to see that here.
And if I'm not mistaken, shout out Raf Rattler. He led the league in steals this year. Is that right?
He might have. I wouldn't put it past him.
Let me look that up. Steals.
He's great in transition also.
Yeah.
And then he's from Seattle, bro. Cats like that, they trying to get buckets at any cost.
Ross, what do you like about DeJounte's game?
Look, everybody pretty much covered it. I like that he's versatile, right? I think Five alluded to it earlier. He's going to take pressure off of CJ in terms of just being the lead guard and initiating things. He's going to help her where it's not just hey, Herb. Yeah, there you have multiple very good offensive players. We got to figure this whole thing out. You now have another really good defender. You have another capable point guard. You have a guy that's a drastically improved shooter, can play off the ball. You've seen that the last few years. I just think he's a super versatile player. And he's something we don't have from a personality standpoint too. So I don't know. He checks a lot of boxes, I think, in terms of improving the team.
Yeah, I botched that stat. He was 6 or 3. He was tied for 6. I don't know why I thought first.
Top 10. I'm cool with
whatever.
that.
He's 6. And then you have Herb Jones right there as well.
Derek White, Drew.
And if you're not going to have, we talked about this a lot last year. If you're not going to have an elite rim protector or an elite player at center, it's going to be helpful having two guys that at the point of attack can stop the ball, that can play man-to-man defense and stop the ball. So, I don't know. Yeah, he's going to do a lot for it.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. I don't. Does he like?
Oh, that's almost a 2 minute. That's almost a 2 minute minor. That's
I think he's going with. I think that's what it is. All right, so look, guys, we're about 40 minutes in. We're close to 500. If we get to 500, that would be an actual record. That would be a record for Pro Pels Talk. 493. I don't know, 40 minutes. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the bell notification. If you're new here, drop comments or questions for the panel. I will get to them at the end of the show. We're going to get to our next segment. But before we do that, we're going to take a minute break. We're going to hear from, if I can find it, Chris Lott.
I need to clear something up about New Orleans. While our culinary scene might be on fire, our food has never been about heat. It's always been about flavor. And this is how New Orleans does flavor. Are we clear? Crystal. How New Orleans does flavor.
Good, Ross. That's great.
Shout out
Wahab.
My man's time might be
Shout out
on.
Crystal Hot Sauce, also company very located 4600 Ferret Street, and Chris Smith Homes, one of the top realtors in New Orleans, located 8601 League Avenue in New Orleans. For free marketing valuation of your property, or to book a property tour, or to talk real estate, give them a call at 504-231-2004 or email them at chrissmithhomes.com. Leo, I'll start with you. We'll play a little game. I'm gonna give you an option. Tell me yes or no.
I don't know if I like this.
Jabari Smith.
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Well,
They give you a yes or no question. Yes. Why? Yeah. Also, yes.
well,
Would you like Jabari Smith on the Pelicans? Okay. I introduced Jabari Smith to Lito and Jared. We were literally sitting in this studio. We were watching March Madness. We were watching the game. I was like, look, this kid from Auburn, he's a top tier talent.
That was
I really
you said?
like, yeah.
Fine, what he said?
This guy sucks.
This guy terrible.
Jeez, Jared. Wow.
This guy isn't
That's
good.
crazy.
Like you guys looking at.
That's crazy.
Did he hit a buzzer beater? Or
He
some
did.
shit?
No, he dunked on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was tough. It was a tough day. Go ahead.
Listen, the same reasons why the Pelicans, quote unquote, would be interested in the Wendall Carter. Jabari possesses those attributes. He's a better shooter. He's, I would say, probably a better rebounder. He's a better defender, specifically at the rim.
Just Tweaking says at the 5. Why or what? Do you think Jabari could play the 5?
I mean, I think that's what his career looks like. It's destined to be. He's destined to be a 5, in my opinion. Especially in today's NBA. I think Jabari would. I think Jabari would serve a greater purpose for the Pels, strictly because like of the potential that he was drafted upon, that what you saw in college, like he still has that in his game. Yeah. He just ain't had a guard where he at to get him involved. You saw when Fred VanVleet went to Houston, like it kind of turned around for him. They found him more. And if you need to look any further, look at the buzzer beaters he gave the Pelicans. Look at the game.
Was it done twice or once?
I think twice.
I think it was twice.
I think it's twice.
I think one to win, one to tie.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
One to win, one to tie.
Yeah.
Okay. Jarrett, we'll go. Would you like the Pelicans to get Walker Kessler?
Yeah, man. Bring Walker, Texas Ranger, down in New Orleans, bro. I think that'll be a big help. Especially with like I've been thinking about like just the Southwest Division in particular. I mean, you got Edey getting drafted by the Grizzlies. You got Sengun in Houston. You got Victor in San Antonio. You got Derek Lively in Dallas. Like, you better get somebody big to protect the rim. You better get somebody because, I mean, just the NBA, it's almost like recorrecting itself. Like, no, you need big people to play basketball and play center. You can't get around it. You know, the Draymond-esque Golden State Warriors, that shit not gonna last long. No, you need big people to be skilled and play basketball. So I think Walker Kessler is like a huge get. If you get that, I think you're more solidified than anything.
So I'm glad I asked you this question, Jared, because do you worry about because he's not a guy that's going to stretch the floor, shoot threes. Like, do you worry about that paired up next to Zion?
I think he could, like let's say he knocked down or just shot 2 threes a game. The same shit we wanted fucking JB to do. There's no difference in it. I think a guy like that could, stretch the floor a little bit. You don't need him to do it a lot. But the ability to shoot gives you just that threat or the willingness and will, give Zion a little room to operate.
Look, I'm not a big guy that watches the Jazz. How is his screen setting?
Elite. So
this is what I'm talking about, like a Dejounte coming off of screens, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins, even like a Zion Williamson, like these,
Hey, he's been playing under Will Hardy.
Right. So if guys are going to sag off of a Walker Kessler, cool, let me play top of the key and let's flip the floor and then go chase and screen and roll and whatever.
Or you can look at a Gortat screen where where him and John Wall used to kill people, and where he would screen and flip the screen, and then John Wall would get a running start at the fucking rim. Like, you need guys like that at high Q aspects to help you and create space for Zion.
Yeah. Did you want to say something?
No, I'm saying that, like, that what y'all said is perfect, both of you guys, because like people think spacing is just shooting.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many ways to create space on the floor.
And unfortunately, JV was just not a good screener. I don't know why, he just wasn't.
It's a dance.
It's 50-50 to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
It's the tango. It takes two to tango, and maybe JV feet wasn't.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like maybe the guards were just a little bit too aggressive. Like they didn't wait, or they didn't hold their spot for the pick to be set.
Patience,
dude. The Suns are in hell.
No.
The Suns are in hell. Mason Plumlee. What, Ross?
I'm with you. We don't have to. I felt like JV was a terrible screener. And
It was awful.
I'm not.
Lito just
I ain't putting it on,
it.
and I ain't putting it on the guards. JV, I want JV's terrible.
Rest in peace. Dog.
everybody was a terrible screener on this team.
That is true.
Ross, Mo Bamba.
I got hoes.
Yeah, he playing basketball.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I'm not excited about it, but if he as like a second or third center, fine. I don't want him like being a starter or a co-starter.
Chaz, Karl, Anthony Towns.
Man, in an ideal world, but I think that's a scenario where you send out Christian Clark, friend of the show, covers the Pelicans. You check out his show on the From the Wing podcast today. He spoke with his co-host Adam about the Pelicans initially exploring adding CJ McCollum to the Dejounte Murray trade, and ultimately they opted for keeping CJ McCollum. I think in a scenario where you go after a guy like Cat, who I'm good with, but it's like you would have to I think that's the scenario where you send both Brandon and CJ out, because now you already utilize that Larry Nance salary. You know what I mean? And you would have to go ahead and just burn it down for real. And matter of fact, I think this might be from his show earlier. Cat, go to that. Hold on, let me put this question.
I know I already know you, but I just seen it.
You dumb fuck. Yes, I'm gonna tell you why. Because Brandon Ingram is a one-time All-Star in his third to fourth year in the league, and he hasn't been an All-Star since then. Karl Anthony Towns is a multiple-time All-NBA player, multiple-time All-Star, one of the probably a top 15, top 20 player in the league. Did you not just hear his fucking numbers? And look, at some point during that.
Leo, can you bring those backdrops back, please? You gotta start bringing those back.
I got you.
You really gotta start bringing those back. That Chaz, you've been calling for a while now. I don't know if it's.
I don't think it's feasible. I don't think it's feasible.
Yeah, I don't think it's valid. Davis, good question. We'll give it to Lito. Brook Lopez.
Actually, I think you was talking about that.
All right, Ross. Brook Lopez.
I think Brook Lopez is the absolute best case scenario for this team. I think if I could cherry pick like an available center, not pie in the sky, like whoever. I'm talking about an available center for next year. I would pick Brook Lopez. He is a great screener, a willing shooter, and a very good three-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a rim protector, like at an elite level. He knows how to play with a similar-ish offensive player in Giannis, who I think plays in some ways very similar to Zion. Like, I think he's the absolute best case scenario, especially just for he's on a good contract. He's only got 1 year left on it. He's a veteran. Like, I think he's just plug and play for this team, and he's going to check a lot of boxes. For me, I would put him at the top of the list. If he's still available for cheap, get it done.
So look, I see a couple super chats. Steve Madden and Will Chill, appreciate it. We're gonna get to that at the end of the show, but appreciate the super chats. Also, you can become a member, support the channel. It is on the on the dashboard. It's on the main page, right?
Yeah.
5. Click members. You can sign up today. Lido, Lauri Markanen.
Absolutely.
would you give up? Would you sell the farm for Lauri Markanen?
What do you consider the farm? Like, give me a scenario.
Not the war chest.
One of Trey and Herb.
One of
all the picks. And possibly like a Jordan Hawkins.
Jordan Hawkins don't really bother me. But the one of Trey and Herb, am I getting Kessler in the deal? Or is it just Lauri?
I don't think you get Kessler and Lauri.
I'm saying if I'm giving up.
I'm sure you're giving up Brandon too.
I'm giving up. So that means I'm giving up Brandon, Herb, or Brandon and Trey.
Brandon and Herb / Trey, Hawkins and picks.
And multiple picks.
Hell.
Yeah.
You said
Hell no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I wanted to add this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ross. Go ahead.
I mean, you saw what Utah said today. Like
What? I didn't see it.
That's right. You just show up. I forget. Yeah, they just. I mean, it's gonna be a steep price. So if I'm the Pelicans, it's like the trade package is gonna be paused. It's gonna be pretty big.
But I mean,
Damn.
But here's the thing, y'all start laughing. I paused it. It don't fucking matter.
Naji went to the Mavs. So shout out to Naji, man. 27 mil.
27 mil. Shout out.
Does Naji get a video first game back in New Orleans?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least a hood video.
Hall of Famer.
Bring him some.
Pels Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Hang the number.
Summer League Hall of Famer too. Never lost.
Yeah, never lost.
Yeah.
Shout out to Naj, man.
Yeah, man.
Good for you, Naji. What were we just talking about? Oh, the pause.
Yeah. Some stuff supersedes. Even if you
Jared, we sat down at Mr. Chow in Vegas. You walked me through it, and I was like, if I'd say it first, I can say whatever.
I mean, we're not clowning, we're not laughing at you. We're laughing just at the same. Like you've relinquished responsibility for what you said by pausing it beforehand. But we still can laugh at the thing that was said.
That's fair. Yeah, we can always laugh.
Yeah,
we can always laugh.
The part I wanted to add when he was advocating for like the Karl Anthony Townses or the Lauris, and I think this is very important. So today, Bobby Marks and Shams and everybody, they announced the salary caps, and every salary cap, this upcoming season salary cap and the luxury tax came in lower than the initial projections. The luxury tax came in lower about 2 million. Salary cap came in lower about 400,000 to 500,000. That kind of scoots the Pelicans even closer toward a deal because they were already right there with the luxury tax, and now there's almost no way for this team to avoid the tax, especially with them being hard capped at the apron. There's almost no way for them to avoid the tax without making a significant move. But not only that, a guy like Lauri, guy like Cat, even let's say Brandon, for example, if you were to acquire one of those guys or even re-sign Brandon and his extension and his raise kicked in next year, the cap is only going up 10%. So you'd be $30-40 million over the cap, because you're talking about like maybe a $20 million raise roughly for Trey, another maybe $15 million raise for Brandon, and you got to add a center, and you need a backup center, and everybody's money is going up just a little bit. So I think even if you're the Pelicans and you don't have any real ambitions or intentions on paying the tax, I think you're looking for a center that's on a rookie scale contract right now or a mid-level contract. That's why I think the Jabaris, the Walker Kesslers, I keep fucking this man's name up. The Walker Kessler.
What's the name you fuck up all the time? What's the name?
Michael.
Yeah, Michael Bridges.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
I think the Kesslers, Jabari, guys like that, and I think the ceiling for salary for a full-time center might be it might be like $13-14 million. So I think you're talking about Mitchell Robinson, you're talking about Wendell Carter Jr. because I for me, Brook Lopez would be awesome for like a stopgap center, but I'm like, only way I really see that deal happening, because you already moved Larry, only way I see that deal really happening is if you sending Brandon to the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's like, damn, what you really want from the Bucks? Because I don't know, maybe you send them for the 23 and you take the $13 million trade exception, but Naji gone officially now. You know what I'm saying? Dyson gone, it don't really matter. But you know, it's like losing the fucking the sixth Beatle or something. It's like you know what I'm saying? So
Yoko Ono.
yeah, it's like if Yoko Ono didn't like destroy Jay Leno's career, John Lennon's career, his career. But John Lennon, rest in peace. But so Wiseman would be a good second bid. But yeah, I think now you talking about center by committee for real. I think a big money center is out of the equation if you're not sending CJ out too, because that cap that CJ and Grant Williams, boy, they even the odds a lot with this cap.
Let's take a moment here for X. X will never get to use the JV profile picture anymore. He changes his profile picture every time. So rest in peace to X and the JV profile picture. But Jarrett, I was going to hear your thoughts of this one. James Wiseman.
Man, again, it's probably one of those guys, the more you watch, you can kind of talk yourself into liking. The potential's there. Is can you surround him with somebody that can coach him to I guess get the greatness out of him that needs to be shown. I think he can be a really good pick and pop player. That's crazy.
No, I would say rest in peace to Kangaroo Crunch too. I just realized that.
Yeah,
Kangaroo Crunch is done, Chaz.
Kangaroo Crunch forever.
Oh man, most
you were part of that show. Yeah, Chaz had an epic wreck. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kangaroo Crunch. Oh, wow. Y'all do stupid. I mean, I like James. I think he's had a rough go at it, but it is what it is. He was a number 2 pick. Now he's in Detroit, and you know what they do in Detroit. I can talk myself into being a really good guy. Him being a really good player is just surrounding him with he needed an elite guard to surround him with. I think that's Dejounte, possibly. If you can find somebody else, that'd be good too.
Shout out to the group, 507. That would be a record.
Oh, let's go.
So shout out to everybody watching the show. Appreciate y'all. Smash the like button. And then you totally ruined it there. Can I get the whiskey there, Jared? Can you pass the whiskey around? That'd be great. Go ahead.
We celebrated the 500. What? Jesus. We can still, if I'm not mistaken, you can still sign and trade Jonas, even though he's agreed to that contract. Sure.
Him and Naji. So those could still be worked in somehow or not. Like, and so when I'm thinking about like fringe centers that are in that price range, you got Bagley that's in Washington, that's like 10, 12 million, whatever his Rashawn Holmes, guys like that, sort of filler. I mean, they're not like perfect, but they are options. So I don't know. I'm trying to think through scenarios like that. I mean, Dallas is a little tougher after the run they just went on, but I wouldn't. You could probably. If there's anything from Washington that you were interested in? You know, I thought about that, Ross. The thing with Washington, I think it really depends on how much JV dislikes the organization. because if you're JV, you're like, I'm not doing you no favors. Kiss my ass, right?
Well, he wouldn't be doing us a favor though, but right, because it'd be more a benefit to Washington than it would to JV. Like he's got his part of it is done. Now you would really be working with Washington.
Washington, right? I like the idea of oh boy. I actually I think don't he make a significant amount of money though? Ain't it like 17?
Who?
Dude, man, with the dad. You just said dad. His dad. Like, wow.
The dad. He's got a dad.
You know, his dad, like real vocal. He went to the Kings. You just said his name, Ross.
Bagley?
Yeah, Bagley.
No, I'm looking at it right now. He's got 1 year left on his contract, $12.5 million next year.
That's
what I'm saying. So it's like when you're looking for just stopgaps, right? Like it's short term. If he doesn't play at all, you just move him at the break anyway. Like he's already been on half the damn teams in the NBA, pretty young. But I don't know. I'm just thinking about options. I mean, there's not a lot at Washington that I'm super interested in, but we need front court depth. And yeah.
In a bad way, yeah.
Pistons talk. That's a funny comment.
What do you got? You guys wouldn't like Bagley, trust me. There it is. Shout out to you, Pistons talk.
I can imagine.
All right, so obviously we got tweet of the week. We got two of them. Chaz is one of them, but obviously tweet of the week presented by Standard Mortgage, your local lender for life. Let's get in touch with a home loan expert today. Give him a call at 504-569-3902. It's Dejounte Murray.
Welcome, bro.
Welcome.
Okay, big. It's kind of like a debate, almost like Dejounte Murray wore number 5. Herb Jones wears number 5.
Nah.
Herb Jones ain't giving up the 5.
It ain't no debate.
So, what number do you want to see Dejounte Murray in?
I don't care.
What do you wear in San Antonio? We can look that up.
You didn't wear 5?
I don't know.
Dejounte Murray.
Is this something people care about? Like, I don't
No, I mean,
It ain't like. It ain't like shout out Standard Mortgage.
Yeah.
Good
I think
good people over there at Standard Mortgage.
Whatever. He's have to change his number. Chaz, is interesting. If Lauri is really available, Brandon could be the X factor in outbidding other teams like the Sixers. Utah can move him again if necessary for even more assets. Why is Brandon the X factor here, Chaz?
Just because he's an actual like talent available, but this was prior to this is when they was like Paul George. It still looked like he was potentially going back to the Clippers. Now that that's kind of dead, the Philly doesn't have to give up assets to go get a Brandon Ingram to help facilitate a trade to the Jazz. And also, you know, it would be if Danny Ainge was really like asset hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if because Brandon Ingram can be flipped again at the deadline, pause, and you know, brought in for even more assets. That realistically, there's a world where you can turn Brandon Ingram into about 6 first-round picks. But yeah, I just don't, with the news coming out about the salary cap, I just don't know unless I think one thing I do know, I feel like all signs point to this being CJ's last year.
Yep.
Do you think last year? Do you think like by the All-Star break?
I've been saying by the deadline.
Deadline. I'm sorry, Chaz.
I think I've been saying that for a little while by the deadline, and it just depends on what big star becomes available, and that's why with the Harrison Barnes thing earlier we were speaking about, I was like, man, people just don't get it. You don't got no mid-level contracts. If you compare Harrison Barnes' contract with a CJ or Wendell Carter Jr.'s contract with a Harrison Barnes, with a CJ, or even with a Dejounte Murray, you can go get you a fucking, if Devin Booker say, I want to go to New Orleans tomorrow. You got contracts now that you can put together and go, you know, make that salary happen. So that's another thing for the Pelicans right now. They got to be looking to get multiple mid-level salary contracts because you just lost one of the only 2 you had in what's the old boy name, man? In Larry Nance. You just lost one of the 2 you had. Now you only have Herb. And I don't think you know, that's a real option moving him at this point.
So an interesting tweet, shout out Lita for sending this to the group. From Keith Smith. Keith Smith at Keith Smith NBA front office show. He just tweeted out, Derrick Jones Jr. must be available unless Dallas is getting Naji Marshall via sign and trade. Otherwise, the Mavs will be using the non-taxpayer MLE to bring in Marshall.
Yeah, go ahead and send us Daniel Gafford. We'll kick you in a first-round pick. We'll make that all good.
Now, you looked at Gafford. He had some failing moments in the finals.
Yeah,
He was in the finals.
Hey, matter of fact,
he was pretty bad in the playoffs. He was pretty bad.
But he was pretty damn good in the regular season to get him to the playoffs.
He was pretty good in the regular season.
But I'm saying, like, if you're
defense
them,
around.
you're like, fuck, I probably need to move off Gafford because Lively is the guy. I probably need to find a backup to Lively rather than Lively being
and
a
in
backup.
theory, they play PJ Washington as the like
Back-
four/backup 5. Like they're kind of set. Like I mean, it's not a crazy, in my opinion. Like this isn't a crazy hypothetical. Like
Nah, this might be more believable than anything. Like to get Gafford, like
But this is what we talked about 45 minutes ago when Chaz was alluding to, and a lot of people have seen Schmidt do it and Christian. Like, this could expand. This trade could expand to 4 to 5 teams, and that's an interesting tweet there from Keith Smith. So, what are you laughing at, Ross?
This comment that you just pulled up is funny. My man said 600.
Right.
600 become a member for real. Yeah, that's an Leo. Do you want to talk about?
Oh no, I mean, I feel like that's what I mean. I that's the point I was trying to make earlier when I said I didn't know that Naji had signed when I said it when we started the pod, but I was saying I assumed that he would be a part of a sign and trade. I think that is how that will work out for him. And in that being said, I think that does expand the deal.
I think Kyrie facilitated that for Kyrie. I mean for Naji, them knowing each other. That makes a lot of sense.
Guys.
Yeah.
That's really awesome for Naji. That's great, man.
All
right, we'll get to fan questions. So an hour and 6 in, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't hit that bell notification. Let you know we go live every Sunday night, and then after every game, or mostly every game, in the regular season, and we'll randomly do lives throughout the week on breaking news. And make sure you check out Lito's got shows, Chaz has shows, 5 has shows, Chris Connor has shows, all on the Boot Crew Media Network. So from Timothy Evans, Brandon to the Kings, we kind of touched on that a little bit, but I think it's still that deal still kind of makes sense. But
still up in the air.
Still up in the air. Yeah, let's go for Walker.
I think the Kings going for it though, man.
Unfortunately, I actually don't like the deal with the Kings. Like I'm
okay. Because I think you're like the only one that. I mean, no, you're part of the majority. Why don't you like the deal with the Kings?
Unless you were getting like a ton of picks, like unless they were leveling the scales with a ton of picks, because I don't necessarily just want to trade Brandon for like depth. I've accepted that you're not getting some like star player in return, but where we are now after the Murray deal, I want to either utilize Brandon to bring in a ton of assets, and this is where I'd be okay with the Kings deal. If you're getting like 2 firsts or something, okay, fine. But we either need to use Brandon to bring in a ton of assets so that you can then make the next deal to fill out the roster, or I want to trade Brandon for like whatever the long-term answer is at center.
I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to you.
Welcome to the team. I just don't like that return again, unless you're getting multiple first-round picks, which one for Brandon, I don't know. Maybe.
I think you're getting at least 2 in a swap at minimum.
Yeah, so if you're getting 2 in a swap for Brandon plus Herter and Barnes, I'm all for that.
Do you think it makes sense, Jared? King?
Like I told you, you're going to lose any trade you do.
Yeah.
No matter what. You just need to minimize the pain. You know, minimize the hurt that it's going to cause and see if it can be a little bit beneficial, right? Like Franklin Saint from Snowball, you need bodies. And comparable, bodies that, guys that have skill sets that fit your team. If you can do that, I don't mind it with the Kings. I mean, it's just a team you beat 6 times last year.
That's embarrassing, by the way, from Sacramento.
And I think they'll be willing to, change that, right? Like eager to change that. So, their mind may not be in the right place, and they've always done bad deals for people. So I think you can get away with it.
Leo, do you think at all in any scenario that Keegan Murray would be thrown into this trade scenario?
Not if they sober when they're making a deal. If they sober, then no. But I mean, if you go catch, I mean, Alvin Gentry over there, so he might have a bid. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out,
some liquor on the table. I'm just saying.
If the conversations are being had, like you better ask for Keegan. Like I would.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that would be that you start there and then you work your way down. Yeah.
Mav still hold on per Mark Stein. Mav still trying to get Clay also.
Clay, if Clay joins the Lakers, cool. If he joins the Mavs,
I don't know, Justin, because you saw the lack of shooting at the Mavs. Like they left, it was Derek Jones. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought he played really well too.
Yeah. I thought Derek did play very well.
He did.
I mean, Sure,
Sometimes
but,
you move on from people.
Whatever. Shouts to super chat, Steve Men. So this is actually a really good point here. We don't want to hear your thoughts first, but 2/3 of Willie Man Crushers got traded. So Naji Marshall gone, Larry Nance gone. The third would be Brandon Ingram. Do you think this is like kind of like
I mean, Jose's still here, so you got.
So we got 4. Do you think it's like almost on what?
I just laughed at Ross' face, buddy.
Yeah.
I didn't even do anything. He just thinks I got a funny face.
Ross, funny.
Do you think David Griffin's kind of? We talked about this in the regular season. Do you think David Griffin's kind of like, all right? It's like the I'm telling you, it's like the Billy Bean thing in
Can't pitch for you tonight.
In Moneyball. When he's like, we're starting Carlos Payne. You're like, no, you're not. He's traded. Like, you're starting Hatterberg. Do you think Griffin's kind of doing a little bit of that?
Yeah, help Willie help himself. Willie cannot help himself from his safety valves, and Griff has made the decision easy on him because he took him away from him. Sad to see. First of all, shout out to Larry Nance for what he did for the city.
Yes, shout out to Larry.
Appreciate that. Appreciate, you know what I'm saying, all the give backs, all the times put in with the school system. Shout out,
Fed the kids.
Fed the kids. He did more for the city than the government did, to be honest.
That's fair.
So shout out him for that. Shout out Naji for getting it out the mud and getting paper at the end of it. But yeah, I mean, he's helping Willie have to adjust to do something new. And look, this is the thing. You talk about guys who play defense and who don't really have much offensive repertoire. I'm not naming anybody. I'm just saying I feel like now is the time that if you believe in Willie Green as a defensive guy, as a guy to get people to buy in, then that way, like, look, whatever offensive talent you see, you bring them here, you get them in the building, and you get Willie to make them buy in.
Yeah. Shout out JB for being a member for 3 months. We'll go here, Jared. We'll go Jared and Chaz's. Chaz, I want to hear Jared, Chaz, and Ross' thoughts on this. Do you think BI's trade value increases if Paul George, and most likely Paul George, signs with the 76ers?
No, I thought it would have increased if he would have, signed with the Clippers. It probably would have been a lot more. You kind of have to play the little waiting game and see who wants, because you're trying to look at contenders, right? Or guys that need a guy like Brandon. And that's the hard part. Like, his skill set diminishes the amount of teams that will want him. So, like, you're not going, like, Orlando has a lot of cap space, but they don't need a guy like Brandon, right? Like, and he wants to get paid. So if Philly happens, and yeah, it diminishes it, but is Golden State calling? Is Golden State trying to make a trade for you? They just waived CP, so that's $30 million that's gone to move to maybe trade. Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think his trade value increased because of it if PG Sauce with the 76ers.
Chaz.
I think it may have increased from a couple of people who I always thought Philly could put together the best asset-rich package. But now it depends on what your, again, not to be funny, but depending on what the goal is, right? Because you have a team like Golden State who, if they can just, they can give you an asset-rich package and maybe one player that you like. Only issue is that player won't be a center. So I think you almost have to go and deal with teams that can trade out. You got to deal with teams that can trade out a player and or assets to go get you the center that you really want. And I think those teams are limited now to maybe Orlando, maybe Utah, still Golden State, and Philly. No, well, it's a given that at this point that Paul George is on in Philly, but Golden State and Sacramento. Honestly, I think Sacramento gives you the best odds at rerouting a player and assets to go get the center you want, because you got Kevin Huerter making about $13 million. If you the Warriors, what's the deal? Kuminga for Brandon and some picks. I like Kuminga, but I'm like, all right, well, if we get Kuminga, somebody got to go. Like, because another thing with Kuminga, that's like a Trey Murphy situation where it's like, all right, you got to give him some runway to be, who he needs to be. So I think right now you're just looking for people who can give you some salary to move and a couple of picks. That's why I think the Kings got the best trade package.
Ross. Watch this.
Yeah. No, I don't think Brandon's trade value has gone up at all.
Yeah.
I think it's the exact same as it was a week ago, and I think it's the same as it was a month ago after the playoffs. I don't think where Paul George goes has any effect on what teams are going to be willing to give up for Brandon Ingram. I just don't. If this was last summer, we've talked about this a million times. If it was last summer when he had 2 years left on his contract, maybe. But I don't think it affects anything.
Okay. 5-4 boy. I know I tweeted that out, but no, not yet. I gotta see what happens to Brandon Ingram, and there's still a lot of moves to be had out here pretty soon. Lito from Chris. Chris, appreciate you're always here, man. Appreciate your support, even though you're a big Brandon Ingram guy. Appreciate all the comments. So, as currently constructed minus BI, they make Chaz?
I was hoping someone did this because I don't appreciate Chris's support because I don't like Chris. But I'll say this: you dumb fuck. How think about this question. Think about this motherfucking question here. And look, he put it in the chat twice, so he had a chance to think about it and correct it. He still did it again. This motherfucker says, as currently constructed minus Brandon, how do they make the play? Motherfucker, there ain't no center. The team, it being constructed depends on what happens with Brandon. We don't know what's going to happen with Brandon. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Get him out of here. Get this guy out. Hang up on that loser. Hang up on him. Fucking loser out of here.
Yes. Does Trey start over Herb, Lito?
I don't know how you want me to answer a question.
Chaz.
No, think about that. Think about that. Motherfucker say,
you're still going.
No, just think about that. Because when I first saw the question in my mind, I was like, that's like a motherfucker asking you, now that you have all this money, how does it feel to be broke? You're like, what? The monkey's his uncle? I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How the fuck should I know? If they go trade for fucking Karl Anthony Towns, yeah, I think they be pretty good. If they go trade for fucking Bismarck Biyombo, I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is he talking about? What is this guy talking about? Whose man is this? Funny how? No, constructed how? Constructed like I amuse you? Constructed like I work in the sun? Constructed how? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Go ahead, my bad.
Trey over Herb?
Who got whatever.
All right, cool. We'll go to Jared. Shout out the super chat. Will chill. Miles turn for BI. Griff does fall nothing. Griff don't fall for nothing short of that.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I mean, the Pacers are pretty locked up. I mean, they about to sign Siakam or have they signed? I think.
I don't think they can technically sign it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's about to get super long money. And whether you're gonna take a flyer on Brandon for a year and not, like, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but Tyrese and Brandon played USA basketball together, so maybe there's some kind of semblance there, but didn't turn out well. I don't know if the Pacers do this, especially with their coach, Rick Carlisle. He's not going for Brandon shit. Nah.
Chaz, how'd Brandon play in USA basketball?
Oh no! You know what's funny?
Oh no!
This is crazy. Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. So we had a thunderstorm where I'm at in Maryland, right? And before the Brandon Kings thing came out, a fucking tree fell on one of my properties and knocked down the fence. And I was like, this is Brandon's work. This is Brandon's fucking work. Yeah, you're gonna get a call from my State Farm, buddy, knocking down my fence.
Terry, appreciate the super chat. Chaz, you love cap and hate basketball. I don't understand that concept.
That's crazy.
Thank you for your donation, brother. Next time, make it 20. Next question.
Okay. Jazz Ross. Jazz waves some random force. Sorry. I'm still not over the red. He just
Kessler.
Appreciate the super chat of him. Ross, Jazz waves some random floor spacing center. I remember him because he hit like 7 threes on us. He's cheap and you should get him his name. Omer, you're at 7?
You're at 7. Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. I'm still butchering. I'm still butchering. Jeez, I'm still butchering Goga Batatse. Did I get that right?
It was good. You did. Yeah, that was it.
I should have had Goga on there. Go ahead, Ross.
Hey, you're gonna add Jeezum to your white. Yeah, like your white guy.
That's a fact, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm like Jared. I'm trying not to curse so much. So I hate with the Jeezum. Go ahead.
Yes. I don't know what you. Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't know a ton about Omer Yurtseven other than I think he destroys the summer league every year. That's like the only reason I know this cat's name. I don't know. Whatever. Walker Kessler is already like the whitest name of all time, and somehow calling him Wessler is like even whiter. It's like we've created the whitest human of all time. Like,
you extra
Wessler.
You extra white enough.
Lito, BI for Isaac and Wendell. No way, but
oh man, it's the health thing, dog. Like if it wasn't for the health of both of them,
and all 3 of them,
all 3 of them,
all 3, right?
the whole,
yeah, that's true. But for Isaac is worse than anybody.
Hey, bro, I'll be honest with you. I'd take a chance on that Republican for sure. Like, dog, dude, I got you that before. Dude can ball, bro. Like he's unreal.
He the best defender in the NBA when he
him and Herb. Oh, and Dejounte. No, that'd be nasty.
And he got game. Like he could.
He can hoop.
He does.
He can hoop. In the name of Trump, he can hoop.
I'm sorry. Did someone bring up a comment?
No.
This shout out to you, 504. Appreciate you, bro.
504, appreciate you.
Yeah, you don't know about this, but other guy. He sent $4.99. You sent the whole 5. Thank you for being a real that bum out of here.
Ross, is it true that we get Kessler just a pick because of the Kyrie trade exception?
Is it true that we can get Kessler with just a pick? Because, yeah, that probably is true. I think Utah would be able to assume Brandon's whole salary. I'm pretty sure that is accurate.
Okay. Donald Wesley Kessler.
Wesley adds a little like that changes it. Wesley.
Wesley's on the fence.
Yeah. Chaz Robert Williams III.
Chaz, can I
you want to?
Yeah, can I get that one, Chaz?
No. Hold on.
No. Let me answer that one.
No, I got you. Yeah,
XK, I don't know if you heard, but his knees have died.
Oh,
his knees, they rest in peace. They're gone. They are no longer able to do. He is I don't know if you heard, the surgery Kobe got when he went to Germany and shit like that. Like his knee's so bad he can't get that.
Oh,
donate those to science.
Yeah, He in one word, I'm gonna just say this. In all due respect, Robert Woods, thank you for your contribution. It's just one word I'm gonna say: retire.
I'm about to get to the next super chat. And I'm just gonna pull up the first super chat. So I'm him. So we wasted about 2 minutes on this, and then he goes, "Never mind, he's trash."
He only said 189. That's crazy, dog. You brought the dude up, and you go, man.
Everybody's trash.
Everybody's trash.
Oh man,
You low ball.
Jared,
crazy.
BI for Keegan Murray.
Man, what? Nah, it can't be just that. It had to be, a little bit more to make the salary work. But I'd be interested. I'm listening. Just depends on what Keegan would want in a contract. I think his contract's coming up, right? Or did he already get paid?
Nah, he ain't get paid yet.
He's not gotten paid.
I just thought.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's something. A question. One of y'all.
It'd be like you got to pay Trey, then you have to pay him.
Yeah.
He's talking about me.
I'm just talking about Keegan. Like you have to pay Trey.
I know, not me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was talking to Chad.
My bad. Y'all good. Yeah, I agree with 5.
it would provide a lot of space for Zion, and that should be the number one priority here is making Zion's life easy.
I got a question for y'all.
One more thing.
I got a question for y'all.
You didn't say-
Is Willie Green pivoting? Is he pivoting to?
Oh, we got to talk about Borrego.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
we
not
got a lot
really-
to talk about, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to this group. We broke news for the first time. So shout out to everybody.
Shout out to you, man.
The fucking Jermaine. I wish I had a button.
This is the only shit. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take a second here and shout out myself with this.
I would kick open the door to the Oval Office and I would chop that motherfucking desk in half.
Every time you get like some info, you should drop that on Twitter.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're right.
Just to let motherfuckers.
Let's let him know. Just hit him with the
I'll-
bell.
Breaking
You
news.
like once Lito said curse, you just go ahead. Chaz, do you want to bring something? Because I got a couple more comments and super chats.
Yeah. I want to bring this up from Quinn Allen. He said, "What do I think they trade CJ?" Honestly, CJ would make a lot of sense for the Warriors right now. Truthfully, yes, I think CJ would make a lot of sense for the Warriors right now, considering it's like shit. You can't let Steph go out like that. Like you gotta at least acquire. You gotta at least get some salary, some tradable salary on that roster to make something happen. And with them losing, just letting Chris Paul walk out the door. And that's why even me, I feel like if Brandon had more years on his contract, I do feel like it would still be a Levine situation because they trying everything to get rid of Zach LaVine. And the Warriors say, nah, we'll just bite the bullet on this $30 million like trade package we could have used. And we'll just say, fuck it. Steph, you're on your own this year. Figure it out. That's why you get paid the big bucks. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Chaz, to
But
your
I
point
think-
earlier. My bad. To your point
No, I'm
earlier,
not-
you talking about like mid-level salaries and not having enough. It's almost like I kind of compare it to America. Like it's almost too many people of the 1%, and then there's a bunch of like small salaries. Like you don't have a really healthy salary cap unless you have a bunch of mid-level guys. If you don't have a bunch of middle class, like you're not going to be successful. And it seems like teams are just willing to fuck it, let Chris Paul walk rather than use that to get somebody useful, which is crazy to me.
More questions. Here we go. Ross from Big Swole. Appreciate you, Big Swole. You're always here too, man. Appreciate all the support. What?
Name Big Swole.
I mean, like Lito, what do you
That's
want me to
not your-
call?
that's
I
not your
know,
fault.
But,
No,
but
it's
he
not.
There's nothing
fucking.
you can do. That's what
Laughing
it
at it,
I
not
didn't even
at
say
you.
anything.
It's because I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Just like Big Hoffa, like Big Hoffa, like beef
just say
stew.
just say
the whole
Hoffa,
thing.
say Swole or something like that.
All right, Swole.
Why?
Yeah.
See why you had to go to Beef Stew though? Like why? Like nobody.
That's his fucking name, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Just call him Stu.
Yeah.
Like it accomplishes the same thing.
Yeah, all right. Brandon Ingram to Dallas for Dale Gafford. And man, I messed.
Huh?
We just messed up this dude's name the whole night. Derek Jones.
Wait,
Jr.
what?
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Looks like you want to say something.
Nah, I'm good. Go ahead.
It's crazy.
This is like I don't even think this trade could be accomplished. So I don't. You just go to the next question. It's not possible.
Appreciate you, Swole.
Hey, ain't that some shit? He just said
Yeah, that's wild. He did that on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
2K Nola. Wendell Carter Jr. Orlando is the missing piece. Jarrett.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's super wild, bro. Nah, he's not, but you know what I'm saying.
Missing piece to what?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Nah, but stopgap guy, pause. Like, I think there's here you go, Justin, man. I think there's some skill there that can help this team for sure. He also just needs help from his coaches and staff to put him in the correct place to benefit this team.
So there's 562 people in here.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go for y'all good for another 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, man, let's
I
go.
just put out the link. If y'all want to come up here and y'all want to talk to the panel and y'all want to ask questions, you gotta show your face. We gotta show your face. We gotta show face or no?
Got to.
Gotcha.
That's the
Can't come
rule.
in there hide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta show
Gotta
face.
stand behind your comments.
Look, I'm gonna pin the link in the chat. Y'all want to come talk. Y'all get a minute. Okay. I'm getting a minute and then we're out. Minute and out. That's crazy.
And he said it twice.
See,
Y'all
because he was gonna get mad at me.
No, it was. Let me just. Damn it. Let me. Man.
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man.
Oh my God.
Accountability. We got Corey. Corey, you're in the chat. I'll bring you up here. You got a minute. If you got a question or any comments, go ahead, Corey. Welcome. I gotta do this. Hold up. I gotta redo the whole layout here. I don't have. Let's see. All right, Corey. You're now you're out. Lito. There we go.
Damn.
Okay, Corey. There we go. Corey, go ahead, bud.
What's up, Cole?
What's good, man?
What up with you, bro?
So again, since I'm gonna ask the same question that I asked last time because I feel like it's more important now. Since we actually finally got rid of Larry, who replacing him?
I really feel like you got. One of y'all say something?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I feel like excuse me. You got a couple guys. Long as you got access to that mid-level section, if you don't trade for anyone, you got dudes like Jalen Smith available as an upgrade, to stretch the floor. You got I think Milwaukee looking to offload Bobby Portis's contract if the Pelicans happen to do something with Bobby Portis. See, you got a couple of options at that small ball 5 position that can stretch the floor. I think Jalen Smith needs to be the number 1 target because he stretched the floor. I think he gave him 9 and 6 last season or something like that for Indiana, and they just brought back Obi Toppin. So I think he just totally out of the equation, in Indiana. So I think you should look to bring him in personally.
Go. Appreciate all your support and everything like that. We gotta get
appreciate you, bro.
Hartson up here. I used to coach this dude, Hearts and Moss. All right, so what you got, man?
What's up, fellas? All right, hear me out. The answer is Lauri Markanen. It is. What is stopping us from going BI, Hawk, and 3 to 5 first from Markanen? What's stopping us?
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
The only
that's the guy who we want. All of y'all wanted to unload the war chest for Trey. This is what we're doing. Give it all for Markanen. Same caliber player, and he's the perfect fit next to Zion. I mean,
he is a good fit next to Zion. I think the problem for me is 1 year left on his contract. So because you're right back in to the same risk predicament that you would be that we kind of been talking about with Brandon for all these years, right? You could unload every asset left available for Lauri and then still come up empty in a year. And that's the only reason why I say any deal with Utah, I have to get Kessler. I have to, because there's too much risk associated with giving away 5 first-round picks for a guy that literally could be gone in a year and you have no control. So you're either going to have to pay him a ton of money and he's an unrestricted free agent. So that for me is why if I'm okay to do it. I'm okay to give up 3 to 5 first in a Markanen deal, but I have to get Kessler. I have to.
Jared, you want to say anything?
No, man. The hard part is, boss, you could have got him fucking pennies on the nickel.
Yeah, giving them to you.
Yeah. Alonzo, and now you're trying to,
God. Yeah. What was that original deal? Was it Lonzo? Was it Markanen? Was there another player attached to that for Lonzo? Or was it just Markanen Lonzo?
Oh,
straight?
remember your guy.
Was it Sato?
Sato.
So it was Lauri and Sato, and we came back and said, no,
give me Garrett Temple.
Give me Garrett Temple.
Garrett Temple.
No, we cannot do this deal without Garrett Temple.
So, Hartson, appreciate you, brother. Good seeing you, man. Oh, you got one more? Are you muted?
Yeah. Am I?
Go.
Can y'all hear me? All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to end with this. When it comes to Omer's on the Pelicans, I'm done with it. Omer, you're at 7. I've lived through enough Omer on this team, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Appreciate you, Hartson. So if you don't know anything about Hartson, Hartson Moss started the Omer Ashik fan page a while back.
Wow.
It was basically just it was a stan, right? And it was We got some good, pretty interesting reviews.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Hudson.
You know, let's do it right now. Who's the most overrated Pelican in the history of Hornets Pelicans?
The most overrated.
Most overrated. Who's the most overrated Hornet Pelican of all time? When with this?
The most overrated.
Thank you, MG.
Who'd you say, Chaz?
No, I'm saying thank you to MG. It's
appreciate you, MG. What'd you say?
I don't even think it's close. It's Brandon Ingram. It's not even close. It's not close.
He said that before the camera started rolling, huh? You still believe that?
I'm gonna go with Chaz. The reason why, Chaz, look, this is what I said. I said you put a Kevin Durant, like you put a Kevin Durant comparison on him, and it literally it hurt it hurt how you look at his game so much. I'm agree with Chad. Well, dog, and I swear to God, when he asked me that question, that's exactly what I said. I was like, yeah, I said I'm gonna go with BI.
I did the live the other day on Bleacher Report. Somebody was like, I don't know, man. Brandon Ingram like Lil Kevin Durant. I was like, me might be like plant-based Kevin Durant or some shit.
I seen that. It. And I was in the comments and I was like, yeah, nah. I was like, nah, he tripping.
And he's a good player. It's no knock on him. It's just that no one else really got that level of praise without multiple All-Stars. Like AD, multiple All-Stars. Chris Paul, multiple All-Stars. Even Zion, for as disappointing as he's been, multiple All-Stars. And Brandon just never really,
Matter of fact, look, it's gonna go Brandon and Lonzo.
Oh yeah, Lonzo.
Ross.
Because Lonzo had a lot of hype. And anybody with stands, bro. Anybody with stands is like I saw somebody put in the chat. They was like, "Is Dejounte Murray the second best point guard for the Pelicans in history already?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh my!
CJ McCollum's the second best guard in Pelicans Hornets history. History.
I don't count like Baron Davis really. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gotta be.
Hold tight, Chaz. What? He's a second best what?
Guard?
He better than Drew? Like
CJ McCollum?
Yeah. What's up?
No,
he better than Drew.
He's not better.
Oh,
he's not better than Drew.
He's not.
Justin, look at his numbers. He's not better than Drew. Historically, career wise, he's not better than Drew.
You kidding me?
I'm dead ass.
No.
So he's the third best guard?
Yeah, that's cool.
But he's not better than Drew.
Hell,
you're taking prime Drew over prime CJ.
Yeah,
I can probably make a point that he's fourth behind Rondo.
Wait, you talking about in a Pelicans uniform?
Pelicans uniform.
Yeah. Because I Rondo's obviously
won a playoff series.
When you say in a Pelicans uniform, it makes it a lot different. Like then it's like, yeah, because CJ, I'll say he's the most talented, probably second most talented guard, especially offensively. But by the time we got CJ, it was them last years of that, that guy, you know what I'm saying? And man, that when CJ first got here, I saw CJ just destroyed Jay Crowder in like one-on-one coverage. Like he did like some type of fake move, this fake out dog. Jay Crowder stumbled. He didn't know what to do, bro. And I was like, this motherfucker cool. And each year he got a little bit slower, and he started shooting them threes. And once he started hitting them threes, I think that added years on to his career. Personally,
but you kind of knew that though. Like his game is suited for all right. He's gonna be a catch and shoot guy. CJ shouldn't be the primary guy trying to beat the initial defender to get to the rim to create for everybody else. He should be a secondary guy, with an advantage already. And then trying to make a move like that.
What are y'all's thoughts on from Quincy of Austin Rivers?
That's tough.
The problem is he never was good. Like he was drafted high.
Yeah,
but he never played. Like he was never. I don't think anybody ever was like, oh man, Austin Reed. Like Lonzo came with like people. For me, it's Lonzo is the answer to your question, by the way. But like. There was never Austin Rivers never played well enough to like have any expectation. other than where he was drafted. But he was horrible the entire time. So that for me is why, like, what do you mean by overrated? I mean,
10th overall. I mean, was he?
So
was Frank.
Then the answer is Dyson. Then
so was Frank.
It's not
Dyson.
Like just because you were drafted high, I can't. That's not rated.
Is he a McDonald's All-American?
Who, Frank?
Who?
Austin.
Yeah.
Austin.
Absolutely.
Number one player.
Yeah, he was
number one player.
What's to say? He had a lot of hype. He had 1 year Duke. He obviously hit that huge. He had that game winner against UNC. There was a lot of hype. Like, I don't see how you can't say he's a disappointment.
By far has the best high school mixtape you will ever watch.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That and Kevon Looney.
I just base it off like the Pelicans career. Like really. Like it just based on his Pelicans career, and then he was like, nobody really wanted us to draft Austin though. That was a weird guard draft because Kendall Marshall, he couldn't play in that league.
Bro, he'd be so nice right now.
Right now, he'd probably be better. He'd be a lot better. He couldn't play in that league, but he'd be a lot better right now.
Y'all saying Peja was overrated?
Nah, they drunk.
Guys, no,
Chaz
it's not just one. It's multiple.
Chaz just told you can't be arguing with people trying to like they don't know.
Was Peja the greatest shooter in our history?
CJ McCollum just broke the record, so
he did.
It got to be CJ.
That's a different league, though.
Yeah, it is a different league.
For his time. Oh man, imagine Peja now.
That's what I'm saying. Like
his son, his son could hoop too.
Yeah.
I put right. I got Peja, maybe Anthony Morrow, and see because Anthony Morrow had a run where this motherfucker couldn't. He had the best jumper. Like he was incredible.
I think Trey Murphy break that record this year.
I think so too. I think so too.
What's your boy name who came from Indiana?
What
he threw a bag at him.
James Posey?
No.
Solomon Hill.
Solomon Hill.
Yeah. God.
$44 million. That contract don't look like shit now, but back then, woo!
He was there with EG. He was there with Eric Gordon.
I like Grievous Vasquez.
I think so.
Oh no,
Grievous was nice.
I like Grievous.
No, Vasquez. Grievous slander will be tolerated.
Hey, I saw there was some allegedly there was some Corey Brewer slander in here. We don't tolerate any Corey Brewer slander.
Hey, bro, dude was hooping in the big three, bro.
Yeah.
Right. They made a mistake choosing Austin over Grievous. I ain't gonna lie.
Ooh. From Quincy J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith.
How?
He only lasted 3 years though.
But he never
played.
He panned out.
He didn't really pan out.
No.
What you mean? In the NBA?
No.
I'm about to say.
I'm not
talking about the Hornets because he was a Hornet. Yeah.
Hey, he talked about it like on the podcast when it's like when he got here, they were saying like young guys weren't gonna play. Like, he kind of knew.
I keep telling y'all, he was playing. He was at bro. He used to be at Tulane, UNO, any open. J.R. Smith.
JR?
Yes.
The man. That's when they were practicing at Hilario Center.
Bellinelli.
Ross, this is what because I'll never I hate Bellinelli. I'll never forget when I won't say his name. Do you remember this? It was before Jarrett, Lito, Chad, before we knew any of y'all. A guy called us out on Twitter. He was defending DD, saying he was an NBA ready guy. He had a good shot. I was like, I said DD's not even close to being NBA ready, and he said I should stick to football.
I don't know what they said. There used to be like a DD fan base within the organization, like within
steroid DD.
Yeah, steroid.
Oh, man,
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Hey.
BI for Jeremy Grant, or you guys see if you can get Brook Lopez or Bobby.
I ain't mad at you.
Hey, bro.
I ain't mad at it.
I know we kind of glossed over Bobby, but man, I think that's definitely an avenue the Pelicans should, look at.
I like the idea of that duo.
Milwaukee is an option. I feel like not just because they have some players that would like fit on our roster and that at a position of need, but because I could see Milwaukee talking themselves into Brandon.
Yeah.
There's only a few places where I think a team is going to say, yeah, like we'll take 1 year of Brandon Ingram because it might help us get a title. And in a place like Milwaukee, where you have Giannis, you have Dame, in theory, you have Middleton for another year. You need Brandon. Chaz has said this a million times. If you only need Brandon to be maybe your third or fourth best player, your fourth best player, it could work.
And it works for Brandon too, because if you plan on a good team and you're successful, that can build up your value again.
To me, that's a potential win-win. They just don't have any picks, and that's where it gets tough.
Ain't no pressure on them in that scenario.
I thought I started this comment. I don't see it anymore, but we do. There it is from Caleb. Bryson Graham's first move as a Pelican GM lands Dejounte Murray.
Shout out to Bryson, man.
Shout out to Bryson.
Shout out to Bryson.
Shout out to Bryson, bro.
That's a big time accomplishment. Like that's huge. Your first move is to land Dejounte Murray.
Man, your first move, you were an intern 15 years ago, and you worked your way up to be
the general manager of the Pelicans. I don't give a shit. Like he's the general manager of an NBA
That's
franchise.
Yeah,
I would have been spooked. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's cool, bro.
Oh, I'm him. Asked how he become a member. Can he only do it on the desktop? Right?
You gotta be on the desktop. Yeah.
Who said it?
I'm him.
I'm him. Yeah. Do it on the desktop. I'm him, and then you
go to YouTube. Yeah, go to the YouTube page.
So let me ask y'all this, man. This is something a little controversial, but we supposed to speak. We gonna talk about Borrego anyway, so I might as well just introduce it. Do y'all think? And I'm putting my conspiracy hat on here. Put my conspiracy hat on my 10-4 Kofi. So do y'all think that this roster is being built for Willie's eventual replacement?
It's not controversial because it's actually a legit thought though, Chaz. It's funny you mentioned that. Borrego took himself out the Pistons. Like he took himself. I think he really wanted Cleveland. I think he wanted Cleveland. LA, he was whatever. We talked about LA. It's just a job. Like I even feel like if I'm JJ, I'm not even taking that job. You're lasting 2 or 3 years, you're done. I think he really wanted Cleveland. Once he didn't get Cleveland, he didn't want to go to Detroit and do a rebuild. And Chaz, I remember I asked you that. I was like, do you think he really want to go to
we talked about that.
And you made some good points, low expectations, all that stuff. But I'm like, it's still like New Orleans, New Orleans is a way better situation than Detroit.
My biggest
good point here
with him potentially going to Cleveland, with the Pistons was this would be your third rebuild with a bad franchise.
Yeah.
And you failed this time. How many more chances you really gonna get? You got Orlando at the time was bad. Charlotte had a terrible roster, but it's gonna go on your record, and now the Pistons, that's like the trifecta of bad franchise. Look, and then New Orleans
after you're fired 3 times, you're that's it. You're done.
It's crazy because each year in Charlotte, he got better. Like the team's record got better.
It did.
Although they were going through turmoil like a mug, and he got through it, but they ended up letting him go. I think he sees this as an opportunity. I think his people probably like it down here too. His family probably does. Also, this is the best roster, and when he did have an opportunity to coach his team with
best roster he's ever had.
Yeah, and when he did have an opportunity for that one game, we saw some emotion in the post game. You
were there.
Yeah,
press was a little different.
Yeah, things are a little different. I'm like, oh shit, this guy actually wants to talk about basketball. So
the more so than the roster construction, I think the roster deconstruction was a sign that Willie's is on the clock. I think getting Larry
construction how like a jackhammer construction like a motherfucking bobcat construction how. No, go ahead.
I think moving some players that he really cared for was I think a big signal. I mean, it's put up or shut up time for Willie, I think. And if we come back and don't see some sort of changes in style, I have to think for Borrego to pull his name out of that hat.
He got some confirmation from somewhere.
He was given at least some optimism on what could happen this year. So that's just my opinion. I don't know that to be true, but that's the way I look at it.
On Wax, what's the number of games Willie has? What are y'all?
It's a really good question. Yeah. It's a really good question. All-Star break.
Ooh, I think 20.
That's where I'm at.
I think 20.
I think it's 20.
I think they come out and go 10-10, and Willie's gone.
Like you can't go to Christmas. You can't get to Christmas and it be
guys. Like
I hope y'all.
Dennis Allen's the head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
That's different.
Same ownership.
I think it's a little different.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Why is it a little different?
Because I think Griff is I think he's okay with firing coaches. Like I don't think he has a problem with it. He may be sometimes reluctant because he might be invested into a guy and like, all right, I've given him all the answers. I want to see him succeed at this. But if he has a plan, if he has an exit strategy, he's gonna use it.
Yeah.
It's different because you have the future head coach on the roster.
Yeah.
Like he's sitting on the bench.
Look,
I think that's the biggest difference.
I heard that the management was pretty worried about losing Borrego, and that tells you something.
Shit, I was worried about losing Borrego.
So was I. I think he comes from the Popovich tree. I think the Charlotte thing, Jay, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, I don't think he failed in Charlotte.
No,
they got better every single. Look at the talent he had.
He made
he didn't have nobody.
Yeah, he made Devontae Graham.
Yeah, Devontae Graham got paid because of him. And if you look, bro, if you go watch the tape, the stuff that they run, like they were just missing. They were open because of his scheme, but they just was missing.
And a lot of people were like, well, the offense this year sucked. And if you think that was a James Borrego offense, then you haven't seen Charlotte's offense. All that stuff. So we've gone for an hour and 50. So appreciate everyone that's, we had record numbers tonight. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We can't thank y'all enough. We'll go 5 seconds. I'm not playing the music. We'll just go 5 seconds. We'll work on the music. Okay. Cool. Go 5 seconds.
Hey, look, I'm deferring my 5 seconds to Chaz. Go on a rant, baby. Go. Go ahead. Just go crazy.
Man. I think a lot of people fortunate to have such a great panel here. Especially considering all the bullshit that's been out there, and I'm gonna say this about Justin, man. Justin and Ross and this entire panel. Justin broke that news the other day, but it wasn't the first time he could have broken news. Wasn't the first time he could have put something out there that has come to pass. And no, that's just the game we're in. You know what I'm saying? That's just the game we're in. And hey, just count your blessings. Count your blessings for those who want to be informed. Nobody's here. We're not selling no candy bars. We're not selling no mufflers. You know what I'm saying? We just giving you raw news. This raw basketball talk. You know what I'm saying? Raw basketball talk. Play maybe two commercials here. 1-2 commercial. We ain't even play the infamous Company Bird commercial located on Ferret Street. Check them out.
Chaz, can't thank you enough, man. Appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.
That was